Hi, welcome to the Shelly Studio, and I think we're on day 26 of the 100-day project. And yeah, these are the papers I pulled. It was snowing outside this day, so I didn't take my walk, and I just grabbed some pressed flowers from my dried flowers that I just happened to have. And I don't know what they are. They kind of look like they might have been carnations. Like, they really do look like they were carnations at one point. I mean, they're pretty shriveled up, actually. But yeah, they actually are almost the same color as this weird jelly print I've got going here. It looks like it's got some yellow and it might even be purple in there. So, yeah, interesting. It's getting kind of difficult to come up with different arrangements of the little bits of paper. I do like my rectangles. I like circles, but, big circle in the middle on every single one would look like the same thing, only in different colors. So, I thought I would try to arrange these papers a little differently, maybe. Kind of off-center the main, that yellow section. And then, I grabbed this blue one because I thought it might be a little bit of a contrast. Don't think it's exactly a complementary color, but it had the same pattern, was in the same packet of paper, probably done in the same jelly print session. So we're going to grab that and put that kind of in the background. Because why not, right? This one is not one of my favorites, but it's interesting. That's kind of what I have to say about that one. And the pressed flowers are very thick. Like, they weren't reduced before they were stuck in a book. So they're the full thing, and they're kind of thick. Looks like they were about dead before they got pressed, too. You'll see. Anyway. All right. So, anything else I wanted to say about this one? I can't think of anything. I hope you're all having a good day. Oh, I tried to punch a circle. I know better. I know better than to punch it out of deli paper without putting paper behind. It just does not work. So I got it out of there, and we're just going to trim around the edges. And that's going to go on there somewhere. In fact, you'll see me move it around a lot before I figure out where I want to put it. Not sure if the blue actually goes, but the pattern matched. So I went with it. And I can't believe my Elmer's Extreme is still going at this point. Like, I'm recording this on day 41. Yeah, I'm out of the Elmer's Extreme. Had to pull out some other glue. Might have to go buy some by the time I'm done. Alright, I'm just figured I'd add the purple because that maybe brought out more of the purple in the other papers. I don't know. It's my theory. And yeah, I scoot this around. I want to use it, I just don't know where. In the end, it's going to overlap the purple. And it's deli paper, so it's not exactly see-through, completely transparent, but it is a little see-through. Alright, so I think I pull out the plants here in a second. There they are, my dried flowers. I think they look better before I put the matte medium. I can't remember if it was matte medium or gel medium, but because they are dried plants and I'm sticking them on there, I want to give them a coat just to keep them from crumbling. And I think it might have actually been gel medium, maybe, or gloss medium. I think maybe the matte would have been a better choice. The idea was to have that that medium hold them down. And then I got it on the background, so I got to cover the whole thing so it doesn't look weird. Then I just stick some of my glitter glue down there just to make sure they're going to stay. I'm going to cut the stems off with an X-Acto knife. Oh, and I decide, and this is, I believe this is after it's, well, maybe it's not dry. I can't remember. I can't remember if I did this later or not. I decide I want those flowers to stand out a little bit more because they're kind of disappearing into the background. So I'm just taking a little bit of black and shading around the edges. Should have just done a big sheet of purple paper and stuck them on top of it. Alright, so there's that one. Interesting, anyway. So, this is my next little bundle of papers that I pulled out the next day. So, we're going to cut this one down to size. And I decided I would, Chelsea and Peg have a Facebook group called Art Joy of Sharing. And they've been teaching some classes that you can pay for. And they have one on abstract collage. Well, I think it's abstract, but because it's shell, it's collage. And they had handouts for like different compositions for abstract art. And one of them was like a V shape. So I decided with this one, because I was trying to get, some different shaped backgrounds for my piece of nature, that I would do a V-shaped pattern on this one. So once I get my little rectangle, I'm going to find the center and do a V. I'm just going to tear it in a V. There we go. So I've got my V. And I just, it always needs more. It needs more. So I have some lighter paper that's torn, has torn edges. Oh, no, it's not torn. I make it torn. I wanted some rough edges, so I tear it and just layer it underneath. Just like that. And the tip, the unevenness of the tips there, that'll get covered up with an inverted V. Trying to decide what else I want to do, so I'm looking at all my papers. I know I run across it here soon. There's a piece of tan paper somewhere. I know there. Is that it? No. Is it? Maybe it is. Okay. So I just kind of make a kind of a dome sort of shape. And that's going to go on the bottom. And then I decided I would just add that little touch of blue at the very bottom. So that's going to be my arrangement. So I've been using all these papers and I don't feel like I'm getting rid of any because all those little bits go back into the folder. Pulling out my scrap deli paper that's quite colorful at this point. And using it to do my gluing. And these are all jelly prints or roll-off papers that I'm using in this one. I figured the best way to put those little pieces on the back was to glue them right onto the V before I put it onto the background. So that's what I'm doing. And then I'm going to glue the whole thing. And I decided to stick it above the edge. And then I'm going to stick this little blue piece below the edge on the bottom so that there's kind of like this going outside of the boundaries. Sorry if you can hear the dogs. I don't know what they're going on about. Always barking about something. So now I've got that, all I gotta do is find my piece of nature, right? Oh no. Apparently I decided it didn't stand out enough, so I'm just taking a pencil and just doing a little shading. I've done that to a few of the pieces, is just shade along those joins, rather than inking the edges of things. So here's my piece of nature. This is another, I didn't go for a walk. This is a dried leaves. And I'm going to take some, this time I did use gloss medium. I liked it when I did it, but it's almost too shiny. Like, the leaves look too dark in the pictures, and yeah, it's just, I just think it's a little, I think it would have been better with matte or semi-gloss or something a little less reflective. I'm trying not to have to paint the background papers. Just using the pencil to lift up the leaves so I can put a little bit of that gloss medium behind, and that's all I put on that, and it held up. So that was day 27. And here are my papers for day 28. About kind of backwards. So again, I was exploring the abstract shapes that they say are good for composition, and the nautilus or the spiral shape is one of those. And yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. If you see something besides a nautilus, I did not until a few days later. Might have been a little Freudian slip, I don't know. Recently went for, the annual exam. And, anyway, enough said. All right. So these are also jelly printed papers, and they have couple of stencils on them. Those are Robin McClendon script stencils. And yeah, from iStencils is where hers are from. And they're a lot of fun. I like the scripting. Now this was a long process because I collage into the spiral. And so I've kind of made it a little bit of a quick montage. So I hope you don't mind the jumping. Well, the jumping and the speed, because it was one thing to collage it down, but to watch, it's just a long process of piecing this into a spiral. So, yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. So the idea is to go from a dark gradually to the lighter color, but I don't have a lot of middle color, so yeah, anyway. It'll start jumping here in a minute, I promise. It took a little thinking of what's going to go next. And then trying to get it torn into that spiral shape. I think I actually do a couple, then I start editing. Yep, here we go. See, much better at speed, right? I did lose footage at the very end of sticking the spiral pieces on. So it jumps from missing something to practically, well, all filled in. And then I drew the spiral to re-emphasize the spiral, and missed that. But then I go over it with the Stabilo, just to emphasize that spiral. And then just going to wet that with my water brush. I want it, but I don't want it like overwhelming. And my bit of nature is going to be pine cone scales. I wanted to just add that stencil. So I am going to edit the pine cone scales. You won't see me put them all down. I'll just put a couple. I started from the smallest bits, which are at the tip of the pine cone, to the widest bits, and I just snipped off the ends with a pair of pliers. So then it gradually got bigger as you went around. And I'm going to add that scripting. So tore it out, and then I tore out the little centerpiece, and we're just going to glue it on. And I was a little messy in the gluing, and if I'd have realized that the glue was going to show up as much as it does, I probably would have been more careful, but it was kind of hard. But I might go over the whole thing with some matte medium. That might help with making that glue not be so obvious. I'm hoping that will do it. Anyway, so I just pulled off the pieces that the scripting replaced and just left them off because they were a pain. Alright, so there is day 28, spiral. I'm going to keep saying that. Alright, and day 29. So the last one for this video, and pulled out a packet with some bright colors today, and I really like this blue, so I'm going to use it as my background. And the white and purplish one, the real kind of busy one underneath the deli paper at the moment, is actually watercolor paper. So it's really stiff, so it's not going to tear well, it's not going to collage well. So I decided I would make a specimen slide out of it, a very colorful specimen slide. So I want to make sure all the sides are even, so here I am trying to fiddle to figure out what the depth of that is. Okay. Then I'm going to cut all the other sides to match. If I can think of which way I need to do that. Anyways, I hope you guys are enjoying these. They are really fun and interesting to make. I was thinking about them the other day, and I'm like, I really like these. And I've decided that I will probably take pictures of all of them as good as I can and put them all in a book. And I might do it. I have an account with KDP Publishing or self-publishing through Amazon. So I will probably self-publish that at the end of the 100 days. So that'll be exciting. It'll be fun. I don't know. I might add something to it. I don't know. I should probably put words in there somehow. If I knew all the plants that I had picked, which I have no clue on most of them, I would write that at the bottom, but I don't. I could probably find somebody who knows a little bit more about botany than I do, and that would help. But that is the plan. You'll have to let me know if you like that idea. Have no idea what it would cost to sell a colored book through Amazon, because I've never done it. I've only done a notebook. But, yeah, so I have this plastic packaging, excuse me, that I'm adding to make it look like a slide, and I glue it. I just watched APG Jamie today saying, glue doesn't work on plastic, or not very well, and she used double-sided tape. I have double-sided tape. Didn't even cross my mind. But I do that, and then I staple it because I can, and I wanted to be done so that I could take my picture and post it on Instagram today, or that day. So I did it, and then I stapled it. The glue will eventually set, right? Eventually. So, of course, I always have to have an extra element in there, so I'm going to take a little bit of this scripting and add it to the page as well. Sorry if you hear my chair squeaking. I felt I needed to sip a little sip of water so I don't keep coughing. There we go. So I'm just going to glue that down one side and add a little something interesting. And then that's going to go there. Now we just got to get our bit of nature. And I have somewhere my little flowers. Clearing space for them, I guess. I don't know what I'm doing. Alright, so here's my little flowers. Pressed flowers. Yes, another pressed item. I've been very lazy and not wanted to go outside in the cold. Not sure what I would find out there. It's sunny now though, so I can go gather fresh things or new things. Alright, so now that I know where it's going to go, I'm going to glue it down. I actually glue it down and then I do go ahead and seal it with matte medium and let it dry and then come back and glue the slide over it. Just because it is very brittle and pieces were already falling off. And even under that slide, I didn't want to I'm not going to glue the slide to the flower. That would be weird. So I'll put a coat of matte medium on there and let that dry. It actually intensifies the color a little bit. I don't know if I like it or not because I really liked the pale yellow on there. I do that. And I'm pretty sure this one is matte rather than gloss. I have 2 jars. It's hard to remember which one I have out. But that's how it's going to go once it's dry. Okay, now it's dry. And this is going to go right here. And I'm just going to glue it down and put it under some heavy weight. And yeah, I should have used the tape, right? My glue is not coming out. Last time I used it, I must have left it open too long. Just going all the way around. And it's sticking just fine. Like, I just put it on there, put a book on it, and we're good. Alright, so here are all of them. I hope you liked them. If you did, leave me a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and if you'd like to see more from me, please subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day.